You notice how the conscious and subconscious mind, the conscious mind being the masculine, subconscious being the feminine. And we look at these two states. The subconscious mind can't tell the difference between a real or fake experience. And it has no option and no choice but to accept everything that comes in from the conscious mind. But the conscious mind requires an awareness. And that's what you are. You're the one in charge of that conscious mind, the man, the God. You're the God. You know how they say Christ in man, man over woman, woman over the children? Well, let me explain that order and debunk that stupid shit, okay? Your awareness over your conscious mind is God over man. Man over woman, okay, is you knowing what's going into the subconscious mind, okay? She is so faithful to you. She takes orders and is at your command. And but check how much power this subconscious mind has. It actually governs 95% of your life. So whatever you're putting into this subconscious mind, which is your woman, is what governs your life. This is what you're creating as your reality. The conscious mind is the creator. The subconscious mind is the backbone. This is basically below the head area. So when you see the little boulder sticking out in the water, and then you see that big giant size boulder underneath it, that's the subconscious mind. And I may use that as a thumbnail for this one, so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. But that subconscious mind is very submissive to the conscious mind. But the conscious mind is subordinate to God, which is you. But God's asleep for certain people. So you're influenced by the things outside of you, which that is your God. That is your daddy. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at your environment or in your outside world, which is still you, it's a projection. It's a reflection of the projector. You're the projector, and you are basically looking at what you are in all aspects of the game. It doesn't matter the people, places, things, animals. It doesn't matter. Scenarios, corruptions, it's all you. And if it's triggering you, well, then it's because there's something going on within you. There's something going on within you. And then you can actually figure out what that is. That's why you can consider those things blessings in disguise. So I want you to understand that mechanism, because it's helped me understand a lot about what happens in my life. But here we manifest all these energies like masculine and feminine and genderize them and say that the woman has to submit to the man, yet the man doesn't even know himself. And you're forcing a woman to submit to you. It's like the blind leading the blind. The woman, in fact, has to have a real good embodiment of masculine energy, but it has nothing to do with being the boss bitch out here or nothing like that. It has nothing to do with that. It could even come down to choosing the right man is basically what she's doing from her masculine state. And if she's got all that intact, she will find the right man. But if she's not intact and she doesn't have that intact, friction's going to create. You're going to have a lot of problems. When the man has his feminine energy under control, he doesn't have to force his girl to submit. He doesn't have to force his girl to do anything. She'll just do it the same way the moon and all the planets, they basically are revolving around the sun. So the sun has order over the chaotic natures of this feminine planet. But there has to be a balance, because the moon has to be there, right? You could call it a man-made construction and whatnot, but you are a man-made construction as well. You came out of man. And if you look at it, you are not this man-made product that you're talking through, like this human body. Yet it's such a beautiful thing. Because everything you're looking at, if you think it's real, it's not real. It's mathematically perfect, almost like if it was designed by an architect. Your body is a mirror mimic image of all these things. And then when you break your body down to the simplest form, in the form of cells, okay, you're made of trillions of cells. That's a simpler form of what you are. And you're made of trillions of them, which means you're like walking Galactus, the eater of worlds. You're not a hero or a villain. You're just the anti-hero. You're like the gray Jedi. Not a Sith or a fucking Jedi. Just gray. That's where you find that middle ground. You could choose to zigzag and go to the light, go to the dark, play the Sith, play the Jedi. It's up to you. But all while you maintain your social contract. You want to make sure you're conducive to society. And you want to walk around like you're the shit, which you really are, but it depends on where you're coming from. Is it from the body? Is it from your true nature within you? People with third eye vision can see, right? Because here's the funny part. The pineal gland, okay, is called the third eye. But in actuality, it sees beyond the physical. But you can use it here in the physical. Because the third eye is not just for seeing spirits or, doing none of that shit. It's not just for that. You can see through people, through vessels, because you know yourself. You can see when somebody has ulterior motives, when somebody's trying to backstab you, when somebody's got hidden agendas. You can see that. Even through people you watch on video. Sometimes when I'm watching people speaking, I'll turn the volume all the way down. And I'll just watch their expressions. I'll just watch them talking. But I hear no sounds coming out. That's another way of seeing right through the person too. Now, when you say, and we start to talk about meanings and purposes, you in actuality are the meaning of life. Mean is middle, right? That's what mean is. Mean is what's in the middle. The medium. You see how you're a medium to speak to spirits, right? Some people say I'm a spiritual medium. That means you're the middleman between you and the spirit, right? So you basically are the middleman between what's going on outside of you, the reflection of the projector. But you're aware of what's going on because you're governing your thoughts. Like you're the casting director. So you don't just buy into all thoughts because they're not really yours. And you could change your mind on a lot of things. And the mind, you can call the mind God then, right? But what is God to you? We would have to define God, right? So the mean, you're the meaning of life. You are. But what is your purpose? We're made of cells. We have DNA, dormant DNA. How do you kickstart that, right? We're trying to figure all these things out outside of us, but we don't try to figure out how to kickstart our mechanism to unlock memories. Because then when you realize that you're learning things out here and you start to say, man, am I really learning things or am I just realizing things? When you start to pick things up, you can learn how to drive a car. But there's other things that you think you need to learn. And it's really just, you think you're learning them, but you're actually realizing something. You're remembering something. There's a big difference. So I'm going to tie more stuff into this topic. I don't want to make this video too long. This is all I wanted to talk about for this one. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. We will talk soon.